We're going back to our top story now of the day with Israeli politics. With just 79 days left for the country's next general elections, a new name has joined that race. The former chief of staff of the Israeli Defense Forces, Gadi Eisenkot, announced this morning that he'll be joining forces with Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz, who's also a former IDF chief himself. The two will run together in a joint list named the National Unity Party. Well, Eisenkot will be placed third in that list, with Gantz in number one, Justice Minister Gideon Sa'ar in second place. Still with me in the studio, Owen Altman, our senior correspondent, to continue hashing this out before we go to the live press conference between the three ministers who have joined this new alliance. Owen, so tell us a little bit about what the polls are actually saying now.
Yeah, you're right. Well, first of all, we're still waiting, of course, for the presser. It was scheduled for 8 o'clock. Not unusual in Israel for an 8 o'clock presser not to start at 8:00. What's the reasoning? Of course, 8 o'clock, the main news watching hour in this country, the main newscasts come on. There's still a strong culture of an evening news around the campfire type of culture in Israel that has disappeared in many parts of the world. So it's time for that news hour, but they always want to give a little bit of time, right, for the commentators like us, Sarah, to hype it in the studio. I'm not sure 27 minutes was part of the design, so 27 minutes and counting, so that doesn't seem to be too much to their advantage. But at any rate, you're right. It has given time for the channels in the Hebrew language media to put out their polls. I'm going to look just real quickly at my phone for the third poll that's come out. And the third poll, consistent with the other two, from Channel 14 and Channel 11, the public broadcaster, now Channel 13, hasn't done much to shake this up. Gadi Eisenkot at first glance has not brought a lot of voters over to Gideon Sa'ar and Benny Gantz's side, hasn't changed the political map. And in a sense, Sarah, it's not that surprising because nothing has really changed the Israeli political map, right? Going back 4 elections, voters here have been stubborn, have been stuck in their decisions. Of course, they've moved from parties and the parties have changed in the kaleidoscope nature of the way Israeli politics work. But in terms of the basic organization of the two blocks, if you will, the pro-Netanyahu, strictly right-wing bloc, and the anti-Netanyahu, much more diversity-illogically bloc, the deadlock has still been there, right? Broken only after elections 3 and 4 by rickety governments that didn't really stand the test of time, although had certain achievements nonetheless. And that still is true even tonight, even after Gadi Eisenkot has entered politics, even as he waits to go up to the stage or go up to the podium, as we're waiting for him to do. So not all that surprising, but we have to say, Sarah, this must be classed by the engineers of the National Unity Party, as it's called in English, by Benny Gantz, by Gideon Sa'ar, and by Gadi Eisenkot himself, must be classed as a disappointment. They don't even get the momentum of a first night bump in the polls, right? A bump that would inevitably disappear over the course of time as the news cycles move on and as there's more scrutiny. They didn't even get the bump. They simply stayed where they were. I would imagine that will be for them a big disappointment.
You say there's a political deadlock. Obviously, the three now joining this alliance, the National Unity Party, they say that they want to end the political crisis, the ongoing political crisis within Israel. Do you think that's something they can do, something they can achieve? Is it a realistic goal?
Well, let's bring the best arguments in plural for why that would be. One of the arguments has been, or Sarah, maybe more appropriate to say had been in the past perfect tense, that it was Benny Gantz, as opposed to Yair Lapid, his, in a sense, political competitor, who could bring the ultra-Orthodox parties online and be able to form a government with them, and that could change the political math. Are we going to the presser?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that he's just approached the podium there. So we're breaking into this live presser now. Benny Gantz, the defense minister, will be speaking shortly. Take a listen.
Good evening. First, we're in the middle of a tough day after the terror attack in Jerusalem. We all wish for the speedy recovery of those who got injured. I want to express my appreciation to the swift action of security forces who will continue to act against terror every arena with all means. We are launching a new wave with the national camp. We continue with this new path. This is a direct continuation to what Blue and White on all its members is all about since the day it was formed. It's a direct continuation of the way Gadi, Gideon, and myself are seeing the state of Israel. Gadi, who's joining us now with Matan Kahana and other members who will be part of this joint faction, is not just a much appreciated commander. He's a human full of values. Gadi stood against some of the most challenging aspects of Israeli society, led different operations. Gadi and I know from each other for many years. We stood shoulder by shoulder. We served the state of Israel in the battlefield, and now I'm proud to cooperate with him on the political battlefield for the exact same goals. Gadi's character, his faith, his beliefs brought him here. We decided to walk together after a thorough dialogue on our shared values and missions. Together, we'll work together to get Israel out of the quagmire, and we will know how to navigate it in face of all its challenges. Our camp is a national camp. We choose to unite under the belief, the faith that us all are safe under a Jewish democratic state of Israel. We choose to unite to build the IDF strength in face of all challenges, to block the opportunity, the possibility of us turning into a dual state. We will work on the gaps in education and economy. We unite in order to take care of all the citizens of Israel, of all faiths, of all beliefs. Those who know me know that I'm a traditional person. I believe in my way. And alongside faith, my second civil duty is you can't really translate this word in other languages. The nationality is what is streaming in our blood. It is what will make us able to take care of all the citizens of Israel. Nationality is our ability to communicate between one another, to unite groups and tribes. It's the only way to prevent a sixth round of elections and form a wide, powerful, stable government that will garner vast popular support. And together, God willing, we will do it and we will succeed in it. Welcome, Gadi. I need to get used on you to take the microphones down after Benny. I would like to join with sending a swift recovery to those who got wounded. For decades, I served the state of Israel as a commander, as a fighter, as a commander. I had the privilege to head the IDF and to be part of the chain of command that is establishing Israel's military strength. The state of Israel is in the midst of a political crisis and instability that is lasting for years now, and there is a burning rift in the society. Once the time set by law that I was unable to join the political sphere, once it expired, I decided to do so. To do so and join a platform that will garner stability, long-term stability. In my opinion, we need to seek to form a government, a white government that will reinstate governing stability, respectful discourse, and national interests. We are facing vast, crucial security challenges, and we do not have the right or privilege not to form a functioning government for the citizens of Israel. I believe that the nation-state of Jews must guarantee equality to all, to work towards safeguarding its national interests. We must block Iran and its proxies' attempts and to prevent the dangerous possibility of a one state that, by the way, 80% of the public, according to polls, believe it's a real danger that might risk the entire Zionist enterprise. We need to seek peace from the position of the strong, from a position of strength. And in recent years, this is a trend, and I'm welcoming that. I believe in a humble leadership that puts you, the citizens of Israel, at the top of the priority. As the commander of the IDF, I had the privilege of working on several spheres to strengthen this Israeli society, to put commonality and brotherhood ahead of all other values or virtues. We have so many issues to address, from the cost of living and securing the life of our children and grandchildren, through governance, all the way to the situation on the roads, fatal situation on roads. I served under Benny for a long while. He's the most worthy, suitable person to lead the national camp. The ideas and the way he's leading it is the best way. Alongside Benny and Gideon Saar, we will talk less and we will do much more. We will talk less and we will do much more to strengthen the state of Israel as a national, equal, democratic Jewish state in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence, to find the common and the unifying. Thank you all and good luck.
You were just listening to Israel's defense. You were just listening there to Israel's Defense Minister Benny Gantz, the former IDF chief Gadi Eisenkot there on the podium, delivering a live presser just as they joined forces to form a new centrist political party called the National Unity Party in Israel, just ahead of November the 1st elections this year. Well, to wrap up, that's all for this hour on i24 News. Do stay tuned, though, across the evening. We will be back to bring you more of the latest news updates later on. But if there's anything you missed from today or any other broadcast, hop online to i24news.tv. We're also on social media. You can catch us there. That's Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. I'm Sarah Shalala. Thank you for joining us.